Hey there, it's Loz here again. Okay, we're in video number 22 and it's going to be video 6 for module 2. Alright, so let's go over to our trading station, and what we have here, okay, is the awesome oscillator. Now how you get to that is choosing the navigator button at the top, scrolling down to the indicators, twirling them open, and come down to the awesome oscillator there. The average true range we're not going to talk about because it's a complete waste of time, if I can be completely honest with you. So we'll go ahead and concentrate on the awesome oscillator. Alright, just go ahead and drag that onto your chart, and your property sections will be similar to mine, but the only thing that might be a little bit different will be this section here from the drop down menu, and I've got mine set right there to the second thickness. Alright, and then go ahead and click on OK. Alright, so the awesome oscillator comes in 3 different types of signals for buyers and sells. One is called a saucer. Alright, it's just spelled S-A-U-C-E-R. And then we've got the twin peaks, and then we have the crossover. Now the hardest one to identify is the saucer. Now if I can get my screen drawer pen out for a quick moment to show you what it looks like. What we're looking at here is basically the first bar needs to be of yay high or whatever. The second bar needs to be lower. Then the third bar, ignore the colors for the moment, but the third bar needs to be higher. And it took a moment to find one, but I did actually find one. If you take a look at this bar here, it's actually higher than this bar here. Then this opposite color bar is a green bar. This needs to be higher than the middle bar, and it is. So that there is referred to as a long saucer. Okay, and as it's gone up, this is where you would get in, and you know it goes up so much. So there was around about 100 pips there to be gained. Alright, the opposite is also true as well. Alright, so the opposite is also true for short trades. Now for short trades, it's a bit hard to really find the true saucer. This might look like a saucer, but it's not. I mean, we need to have two greens. I think, let's see if we can find another area in the market. I won't spend too much time on it just in case, because it does get a bit too much after a bit. Okay, here is, I believe, boom boom. No, that's not one. I'm looking for a different set. Yeah, they're very hard to find, so I can't really find a short one. Here we go. Here's one. This took a while to find. Okay, if we take a look and let's scroll in just a moment. Where did I see it? Oh no, I've lost it. Sorry guys, I just lost my position. Oh, where did I see it? I think that's it there. Right. Okay, this is it right here. So okay, here's another sell signal. This bar here is actually larger than this bar, and this bar here is actually larger than the middle one, and that would warrant a sell. But if you take a look, it does go up and then it decides to come down later. So this is one of the reasons why I don't really like using a saucer, because it's a little bit awkward. Alright, the second one is Twin Peaks. Okay, Twin Peaks. Let's see if we can find some Twin Peaks for you. Okay, Twin Peaks, what we need to look at here is, this is probably only the only time when you're using the awesome oscillator where you would do a buy trade when the histogram is below the 0, 0 line. And what we are looking for is this kind of setup. But you see how this peak here is lower than this peak here? Well, we're looking for the reverse. We want this one to be a larger peak and this one to be a smaller peak. So let's go and see if we can navigate towards there. Okay, here we go. Here is the first peak and here is the second peak. Right, so we take a look at this one here and then this one here. Then we go long on this green bar. If we'd never go long on a red bar, alright, and we never go short on a red bar. Alright, we only go long on a green right here, and you can see the market starts to go back up. Let's just see if this wasn't a fluke. Here is another twin peaks. You can see that the peak right here is a lot larger than this peak here, so that's good. We look for this red bar and then we look for that red bar, which is the next one, and we're looking for this bar right here, and that is a buy signal. Here is a buy signal, up it goes. Here is another buy signal. We've got a peak there, and then we've got the peak right here, and then following afterwards we've then got this green bar, and then we can go long. It kind of goes sideways for a little bit before it starts to go up higher. Alright, about sell trades. Well, it's basically the opposite, but this time we look at the histogram above. We don't look at the histogram below for a long trade. We look for, a short trade. We look at the histogram above, which is kind of the opposite of what you normally would do anyway. Alright, so here is the first peak, and here is the second peak, and the next color is red. That's when you go short, and then boom, all the way down it comes. And when you start seeing this coming down into the lower histogram, you can still stay short. Alright, let's see if we can find some more. Here we go. This bump here and this bump here doesn't qualify because this little bump here is lower than this bump, so we use this as our first bump and then this one as our second one to act as a twin peaks. So here is the green line, and then there's the other green line that represents the top of the peak, and the next one is red. Let's take a look, see what happened. Boom, sideways for a bit, and then boom, all the way down. That was for like 700 pip move. Alright. Okay, so the next one, the next strategy is basically the crossover. And this is how it works. You've got to have two bars to the left at the bottom of the histogram and two bars at the top, and they need to be of the same color. And then on this, on the closure of this bar, you go long. And then on the immediate next red bar, you close your trade. Alright, did that make sense? Alright, here is two green bars, here's another two green bars, and go long on the next green bar. But this one turned into be a red bar, so we wouldn't have gone long there. Alright, here we have two green bars and then another two green bars here, and then go long on the next bar, which is right here, and this one would have actually turned into a losing trade. Alright, so some of them you have to take a pinch of salt. Some of them are good or better than others. Alright, but for the most part, you know, if you get the twin peaks, I think the twin peaks will probably be the best one that you can actually use naked, without no accompanying indicators, no other accompanying technical analysis. So the twin bars will probably be, or twin peaks, beg your pardon, will be the best option out of those three different types of buyers and sell signals to adopt. But let me give you another one. Alright, this again is on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, and what we can basically essentially say to ourselves is using this green bar, and is that candle green? Yes it is, and go long. Is this bar red? Yes it is. Is this candle red? Yes it is, go short. Alright, there are other ways that you can do this by adding fractal indicator on there, which we'll get to in just a moment. But what I would tend to do is another strategy which I call the actual awesome trader, and it's another indicator that I use. And these are price actions, and basically what we're essentially looking for is an area in the market where this fractal, you see like these little arrows, there's arrows at the bottom and there's arrows at the top. Well, these are basically, they kind of represent supply and demand levels. Alright, so when that's when that demand level is broken, it goes up and it keeps creating more demand until the point it start creating supply, and then it ends up dropping. Alright, but here what we're looking for is basically we need to see one of these fractal indicators inside the first 3 bars. Alright, but it needs to be a different set of colors. Okay, this is red, this is showing a downtrend, so we don't want this one. What we are looking for is something like this. Here is a green bar. We need to see this fractal happen within the first 3 bars. If it doesn't, we ignore it. Then we go ahead and place a buy order right there, and we wait for it to break. But what we've got to do is wait for 5 of these bars. Now these fractals don't appear until after the second bar from its one that it's hovering over until it's completed. So here is the one that it's hovering over. Here's bar number 1, bar number 2, and when bar number 2 is finished and when bar number 3 starts, this little triangle will appear. Alright, so it will be from the 3rd bar that you need to count 5 candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it actually gets activated and it gets hit. Alright, so now we've got a long order activated. Our stop loss will be basically down where the next previous fractal is, and our take profit will be the next previous high. Well, that previous high is too low. We want to go to the next one, and then as we go along over some period of days, it does go up higher. This particular strategy is a long-term strategy. It's not for the weak-hearted. If you want to go for something a little bit more simpler, then I would just basically opt for the Twin Peaks, and that should really get you on a good standing when it comes to making some profits. Alright, so I will leave you with that video for the moment, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.